Our sun won't die for 5 billion years yet, so why do we have only 1 billion years left on Earth? In a few billion years, the sun will become a red giant so large that it will engulf our planet. But the Earth will become uninhabitable much sooner than that. After about a billion years, the sun will become hot enough to boil our oceans. The sun is currently classified as a main sequence star, quote unquote. That means that it is the most stable part of its life, converting the hydrogen present in its core to helium. For a star to see the size of ours is a phase lasting for a little over 8 billion years. Our solar system is just over 4.5 billion years old, so the sun is slightly more than halfway through its stable lifetime, so the theory goes. Even stars die, though. After 8 billion years of happily burning hydrogen into helium are over, the sun's life gets a little more interesting. Things change because the sun will have run out of hydrogen in its core. All that's left is the helium. The trouble is that the sun's core is not hot or dense enough to burn the helium. In a star, gravitational force pulls all the gases towards the center, and when the star has hydrogen to burn, the creation of helium produces enough outward pressure to balance out the gravitational pull. But when the star has nothing left in the core to burn, gravitational forces take over. Eventually, that force compresses the center of the star to such a degree that it will start burning hydrogen in a small shell around the dead core, which is still full of helium. And as soon as the sun begins to burn more hydrogen, it would be considered a red giant. The process of compressing in the center allows the outer regions of the star to expand outward. The burning hydrogen and the shell around the core significantly increases the brightness of the star, and because the size of the star has expanded, the surface cools down and goes from white hot to red hot. Because the star is brighter, redder, and physically larger than before, we dub these stars red giants. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box. Earth's fiery demise? What's going to happen to us? It's widely understood that the Earth as a planet will not survive the sun's expansion into a full-blown red giant star. The surface of the sun will probably reach the current orbits of Mars, and while the Earth's orbit may also have expanded outward slightly, it won't be enough to save it from being dragged into the surface of the sun, whereupon our planet will rapidly, of course, disintegrate. Life on the planet will run into trouble well before the planet itself disintegrates. Even before the sun finishes burning hydrogen, it will have changed from its present state. The sun has been increasing its brightness by about 10%. Every billion years it spends burning hydrogen. Increasing brightness means an increase in the amount of heat our planet receives. As the planet heats up, the water on the surface of our planet will begin, of course, to disappear. It's going to evaporate. An increase of the sun's luminosity by 10% over the current level does not sound like a whole lot, but this small change in our star's brightness will be pretty catastrophic for our planet. This change is a sufficient increase in energy to change the location of the habitable zone around our star. The habitable zone is defined as a range of distances away from any given star where liquid water can be stable on the surface of the planet. With a 10% increase of the brightness from our star, the Earth will no longer, of course, be within the habitable zone. This will mark a beginning of the evaporation of our oceans. By the time the sun spots burning hydrogen in its core, when it stops burning hydrogen in the core, Mars will be in the habitable zone, and the Earth will be much too hot to maintain water on its surface. On certain models, this 10% increase in the sun's brightness, triggering the evaporation of our oceans, will occur over the next billion years or so. Predictions of exactly how rapid this process will unfold depends on who you talk to. Most models suggest that as the oceans evaporate, more and more water will be present in the atmosphere instead of on the surface. This will act as a greenhouse gas trapping even more heat and causing more and more of the oceans to evaporate until the ground is mostly dry and the atmosphere holds the water but at an extremely high temperature. As the atmosphere saturates with water, the water held in the highest parts of our atmosphere will be bombarded by high energy light from the sun, which will split apart the water molecules and allow the water to escape as hydrogen and oxygen, eventually bleeding the earth dry of water. Where the models differ is on the speed with which the earth reaches this point of no return. Some suggest that the earth will become inhospitable before the 1 billion year mark, since the interactions between the heating planet and the rocks, oceans, and plate tectonics will dry out the planet even faster. Others suggest that life may be able to hold on a little longer than 1 billion years due to the different requirements of different life forms and periodic releases of critical chemicals by plate tectonics. The Earth is a complex system and no model is perfect. However, it seems likely that we have no more than 1 billion years left for life to thrive on our planet. This was from the conversation. It's Unbended Reality. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support.